Really quick, let's talk about IVF calendars. So I know some of you may be interested or just curious into seeing what all goes into an IVF cycle. A big part of that is receiving your calendar from your doctor's office. A typical IVF cycle is about 6 or 7 weeks in total. The first month, like the first 3 weeks, you start something called priming, which 9 times out of 10, you'll go on a hormonal birth control. Also, sometimes the doctor might add in another injectable medication to your priming schedule. Once your priming schedule is over with, then you go into the injectables for IVF. So let's get into it. Before I get into this video and start with the calendar, I do have to make sure that I know that everybody is aware that everybody's IVF cycle calendar and protocol is tailored to you or them specifically and individually. So please do not compare your cycle to mine. Okay, let's get started. So the first month is always going to be the priming month. So for me, cycle day 1 was on Friday the 13th. And it's kind of nice with my clinic, this clinic in particular, the way they do the calendar, everything's color coded. So you'll see here that green is the first day of a medication, red is the last day of a medication, and yellow indicates an appointment, an office appointment. Cycle day 1, human growth hormone started. Cycle day 3, I started the hormonal birth control. So that started, we had this protocol for 16 days. So every day I was doing a low dose of the human growth hormone along with birth control regimen. And that was it for the priming month. The priming month is usually pretty low, slow, quiet. You're, just responsible for taking your own medications. Nobody's gonna call and check on you. The second month is IVF month. So this is the month where things get busy. As you can tell, this calendar is very colorful. And then you'll see here too, where I went in every day and checked off all my medications just so that I know that I had already taken them for the day. So in this second month, the first thing that's different about the second month is you go in for your baseline appointment. And with your baseline appointment, they're basically just making sure all your levels look good. Everything is low, everything is quiet, like your ovaries are quiet, there's nothing going on. And then from there, they can get you started on the medication. So for me, medication started the next day, and we were doing Gonal-F and Menopur in the morning. And then again, I continued with a low dose of human growth hormone all throughout the cycle. So Gonal-F and Menopur in the morning, 4th, 5, 6, we run into a blood work appointment, no problem. 7, 8, 9, we run into a blood work appointment. And I'm assuming for this calendar and for this clinic, at this point in the process, they start to see some larger follicles growing, and in the event they want to stop the ovulation, like antagonist medication, the medication that's going to prevent you from ovulating, they'll start it now. It's really important, obviously, not to start that until they say. And if you can see here, it has the name of the medication and then question marks, because your reports go to your doctor, and your doctor is the one that makes the call as to when you start that antagonist protocol. So you'll also see that from the 9th, I had an ultrasound and a blood work appointment. The 10th, I had an ultrasound and a blood work appointment. The 11th, I had a ultrasound and a blood work appointment. The 12th, I had an ultrasound and a blood work appointment. These appointments really, they aren't that much, but at the same time, they are. You do your baseline, you wait a few days, you have another appointment. You wait a few days, then you have another appointment, and then after that, literally, you're doing appointments every single morning. So we continued with the medications. Red indicates last day of a medication or activity. So you'll see here that they don't want me doing any more high impact exercises. Continuing with appointments and medication. And then for this clinic in particular, they commonly see a trigger or you being finished with your stim medication on this many days of stim. I don't know how many days it is, but they'll note it on your calendar. The trigger day can and will change. Completely up to the doctor, completely up to what they see, completely up to your blood levels. along with your follicle sizes. So that date can and will change. And then typically 36 hours after you trigger, you will have your egg retrieval bright and early in the morning. The day after your egg retrieval, you'll get a call from the lab, from your nurse, stating what they were able to retrieve, what was mature, what fertilized, and then from there you wait it out basically until day 5 or 6 until they have another update for you. I know that might have been a lot of information, especially if you've never seen one of these calendars before, but I promise if you know someone going through IVF or you're going through it yourself, these calendars are like your lifeline. They tell you what to do, when to do it, how much to do it. Literally without it, I'd be so confused and so lost. So that is what an IVF calendar looks like. Like I said, every cycle is tailored to every individual specifically. Even if you do multiple cycles, sometimes the calendars are different. Like this calendar was a totally different calendar than I've had in the past. But I just wanted to show some of you who are curious or who wanted to know what an IVF calendar looked like. This is what it looks like.